Man, it's been a while since I talked about this anime. I swear, time be passing by faster than I expected to. But anyway, I know it's a little weird and not mainstream, but honestly, I think it's dope, and I think anyone who's actually watched it would agree. So picking up where we left off, Fuuko just used her powers to show us how the dinosaurs died, and now her and Andy finally get a moment of respite. So he uses this time to get butt naked in a cramped alleyway and try and talk Fuuko out her panties. And she is not having it. And honestly, who in their right mind would? Like, I know you've been alive for hundreds of years, so you don't give a fuck, but shouldn't you also understand social norms and proper manners to some degree? And who do you know that would actually go for this? I swear, this nigga act like he was raised in the wilderness alone like Goku. So she tells him that her power of unluck is not only based on duration of contact, but also how strongly she feels for the person she touches. And she don't like him like that. So in other words, no cheeks for him. And she thinks that's the end of it. But all this crazy nigga heard was, if I make her fall in love with me, I can complete my plan. And I mean, he's not wrong. So, this marks the beginning of the greatest love story since R. Kelly made Trapped in the Closet. Now Andy's priority is to keep her alive and safe, cause he's an immortal being with decades of fighting experience, but she's just a normal 18-year-old girl. So he takes her to one of his many doomsday bunkers looking like a gun store in GTA, and he hooks her up with the life-saving fit. I'm talking 360 bulletproof stab-proof vest with the gas mask like a Fallout character. If this was an RPG, she'd be a heavy gunner for sure. So Undead spooks her by saying that the people looking for them would conduct experiments on them if they got caught. So she decides to stick with him and they skedaddle up out of there. And you know this nigga's a menace, cause who the fuck rides a motorcycle like this? So they enjoying their midday motorcycle ride when a portion of the sky shatters like when your ugly ass look in the mirror, and a robot looking like the Tony Stark Hulkbuster jumps out and crushes Andy. Then Fuuko tries to run over to check on him, but this blue-haired pretty boy makes her back that ass up on him like Juvenile. I'm talking ass cheeks on my white tee. All these hoes keep grinding on me. So Fuuko has lost control of her legs and can't move, so she's basically glued to this guy. And that leaves Andy in a one-on-one battle with this dude in a mech suit. But what he doesn't know is that this dude is unavoidable. Nah, like literally, that's his name. Because whenever he moves to attack, the person he's targeting loses the ability to move from the neck down, so it's a guaranteed hit like a Metro Boomin beat. So both of these enemies are external targeting restraining type negators, which is a bunch of mumbo jumbo for their powers only work on others by restricting that person's movement to some degree. Hey, but for real, I know a couple niggas that got that power too. If they grab that chop and kick dough on your trap, they'll make sure your ass don't move a muscle, you feel me? But we never called them negators, just niggas. But anyway, every power has a condition, and figuring that out is the key to victory. So they start banging it out, and Undead is getting stomped for real. I mean, when you think about it, it's just an immortal naked man fighting against a Hulk-sized mech suit, so what do you really expect? And that must be so demoralizing for his opponent, cause you know you're gonna lose. I mean, imagine beating the hell out of someone and they just keep coming. So you're beating him and he's coming, beating him and he's coming, and he won't stop coming. So while that's going on, the other guy, his name is Shen, expands on something I mentioned in the last video, which is that there are 10 negators that work for an organization to complete various tasks, which makes them exempt from prosecution. So Undead hears this and is like, oh, okay, if we just kill these two, then we could take their spots in the organization and be home free. So this dude's first solution is a double homicide. And well, at this point, why not? And now it's on. So during that conversation, Unavoidable punched Andy so hard that his head flew off and he was about to kill Fuuko, but Andy just swooped in and saved her. And really, all they had to do was just switch opponents and our protagonist would have been cooked for real. Cause Shen could just stop Undead's movements like he does later in this episode, and then Unavoidable could have killed Fuuko. But they ain't do it like that, so now Undead is running wild on their ass. So Fuuko takes her glove off and touches Andy, which causes this 18-wheeler to fall from the highway above them, causing a huge explosion. Like, what? Why? Who was unlucky in that situation, Andy or the guy driving the truck? Cause that looked like a mob hit when they say make it look like an accident. But everyone was somehow okay. Well, except for the guy driving, I didn't see him pop out. So they chase Undead into this empty parking garage and he's hiding trying to come up with a plan. And finally, he figures out that the guy he's been fighting is unavoidable, like taxes, or child support, or the inevitable disappointment you hear in your father's voice every Christmas. But anyway, Right when he figures that out, he sees that there's dynamite placed throughout the parking garage and it explodes worse than Nanami. Sorry, that was distasteful. Let me try again. It explodes worse than Netero. But anyway, with all the chaos of the explosion, Andy pulled the okie doke on Buddy and snuck up behind him, preparing one of his signature attacks, the parts bullet, which is when he shoots off a dismembered body part at high speed by rapidly regenerating. In this case, it was his finger. And if that sounds weird to you, it is. But don't think about it too much, just go with it. And Buddy wasn't playing. He blicked dude in his dome piece, gave him a bald head like Steve Harvey. Now Shen is the only remaining enemy, but his powers are more complex than Unavoidable's were, so Andy can't figure him out. And I really don't want to explain the ending of this episode cause it's just weird and anything I say will just make it sound worse than it is while also making me seem creepy. If you know, you know. But what I will say is that Shen ends up liking them, so with Unavoidable already dead, he tells them the location of a different organization member so they can kill that one and take their place. And if you think this show is weird, you're right, but wait till you hear about this next fight. But in the meantime, check out one of these videos and ring that bell. I heard subscribing to my channel increases your penis size. I don't know, you tell me.